the Nintendo World Championships were a hit, with Reggie saying that Nintendo's targets for the event were blown away. Because of this, the Nintendo World Championships could return again in the future, and not after a 25-year wait this time. In fact, according to one report, the Nintendo World Championships will be returning next year, and Reggie also mentioned that they'll be talking about the event's success and how to keep it going for the future back in Redmond after E3, so it's possible, now E3's been done for 4 days, they could be talking about it now. But those talks would even include talking about making the preliminaries more accessible in more locations. And this is actually something I don't think we addressed in last week's episode, but for all the ill will we gave Nintendo over the rollout of the World Championships, the finale was actually really, really incredible. So, we owe it to you guys at Nintendo to say, amazing job. You really nailed every corner of the event. So congratulations and thank you. I went in person, I had an amazing time. I cried at the Earthbound Beginnings reveal, no shame. I stand by everything we said about the preliminaries, though. There should have been way more rounds, way more locations. I still think all that was a disaster, but we've made that point plenty of times over. Now it's the time to say kudos on an amazing, awesome show, awesome finals. It was a ton of fun, and hopefully the coming years will only get better.
Yeah, and just based on how well received the finals were, I hope Nintendo takes that interest and runs with it, and in future years makes it a bigger event, makes the preliminary rounds a bigger event, and doesn't just kind of throw it together last minute.
And even makes more preliminaries, because 8 rounds, I mean, we talked a lot and talked ill will about how 8 locations for a preliminary is nothing. That should be the semifinals. And so hopefully they have, more preliminary rounds and qualifying rounds, and then they use that to say, okay, here's the first tier, here's the second tier, here's the quasi-finals, here's the semifinals, and then here's the finale.
Yeah.
A much more structured tournament like that would be much
They could do with more build-up in general, I think. Not just with this, but with Nintendo Directs, with all these other things where we kind of find out at the last minute.
Yeah.
Hello everybody, thank you for listening to this Nintendo Week clip, NWC. If you like what you hear, please subscribe to us here on YouTube for more highlights and discussion videos from Nintendo Week podcast, or subscribe to us on iTunes for weekly breakdowns of all your Nintendo news, discussion segments on subjects, games, and more, and tons of other features. Thanks for listening, and we will see you tomorrow with another NWC.